Good afternoon, everybody. At the outset, I would like to thank the Principal District Judge Chitradurga and also the Principal of Saraswathi Law College Chitradurga and all concerned for this opportunity for me to speak on a topic, constitutional values. Perhaps constitution is one of the most sacred documents, and our constitution, Indian constitution, is one of the best constitutions in the world. And as a democratic nation, it is apt that all of us, all the citizens of this country, will know about our constitution, which is so sacred, because constitution is one such document which concerns and which provides and which thinks of all the citizens and their well-being. And therefore, it is very relevant that all of us know the constitutional values and its importance in governance. So it is said in constitution, the preamble portion, a preamble in any document is the key to open the mind of the makers. So our constitution's preamble clearly it spells out the objectives of the constitution. The language of the preamble, it begins with the words, "We the people of India." That means sometimes, no doubt, in the framing of the constitution or in the making of the constitution, all brilliant brains have worked. But ultimately, who has given this constitution for us? The answer is the people of India. That's why the preamble begins with the words, "We the people of India." That means we are giving unto ourselves this constitution. So this constitution is given by the people of India to themselves. For what purpose? We resolve, the language of the preamble of the constitution says, we resolve, means the people of the country are determined to constitute our sacred country, India, as a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. They are the important values. All the people, they have willed, they have determined, they have decided, they have resolved to constitute this great country as a sovereign, socialistic, secular, democratic republic. Each of these words means a lot for all of us. We must know what really these expressions mean in the Constitution. Sovereign means our country is not subordinate to any other country. Sovereign means is all powerful. It can make its own decisions. Our country does not depend upon any other country to make its decisions, either external or internal. All affairs of this country, external or internal, are managed by this country as per the provisions of the Constitution. That's the sovereign, means a country which is not subordinate to any other country and which can make its decisions, which can govern its people, is a sovereign country. Our country is a sovereign country, means it is an independent nation. It does not depend upon for anything any other country in the world. That's the meaning of that word sovereign. The next important expression in the Constitution, in the preamble, is this secular. We know that anybody who has studied about this country or who has traveled from Kanyakumari to Kashmir would know the diversity of this country. And more than 130 crores of people living together with a common feeling, that with that feeling of Indianness, is not an ordinary thing. It is something very special and extraordinary. We speak different languages. There are different cultures in our country. We have different food habits. We have different dress habits in this country. So, with all this wonderful diversity of our nation, still we live as a country. That is the greatness of this country. Secular means respect for all religions. So, no one religion dominates in the governance of the country. In fact, no religion plays any role in the governance of the country. It is purely personal. As a fundamental right, you can enjoy, you can practice, preach, any. You have a freedom of conscience, and we can practice any religion. But in the governance of the country, religion has really no role to play at all. Such a character means respecting diversity. Secular means it is not that in our country there are no religions. In fact, there are many religions. Respect, equal respect for all religions is the meaning of this word secular. Second thing is we must respect diversity also. We can't impose anything on anybody at all. As long as any individual does not violate the rights of others, he can live the life the way he likes, as long as he does not infringe or violate the rights of others. That is the beauty of our country. It is a secular country, means no one religion plays any dominant role in the governance of the country, and every religion has equal respect. Just again, this concept, how it is like that, I can just quote you Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who says that all these religions are like rivers. They ultimately flow and reach the same ocean. That's all. There are many religions. They always take us to the same goal. So, therefore, no one religion. We can't compare religions. We can't disown religions. We can't disrespect religions. It is respect for all religions. It is respect for all feelings. It is respect for all conduct, as long as those conducts are acceptable to the society. That kind of feeding and living, we call it a secular behavior or secular conduct. Our country is secular, is a secular country, means though there are many religions in our country, there is respect for all religions, and people of all religions can coexist and live together. That is what this word secular means in the Indian constitution. Next, there is a word socialistic is there. We know that if wealth is, see, we are under 130 crores or more than that. This vast population of our country must coexist, live together. This concept of a socialistic pattern of society means that the wealth should not be concentrated in few hands, and the natural resources that are available must be equally distributed. It must be for common good. The wealth of the nation and the natural resources that are available must be equally distributed so as to serve the common good, that so that all the citizens of this country can coexist and live a better life. That is the purpose of this word. Socialistic means it is uh, equal distribution of wealth, and also all natural resources. We know that the the sun, the air that we breathe, the water, the rivers that flow, everything is the gift of God. It has come by nature for us. And can one by any person can climb and say that if the wealth is concentrated and only few people, rich people live, uh, it is so difficult. So, therefore, the socialistic pattern of society means that the natural resources that are available here should be used for the common good, but for the benefit of all the citizens. That is what it means. Then this democratic, we have accepted democracy as way of life. Democracy is a way of life, is a behavior. It is not just a dogma or a principle. It is a way of life. What that does mean? In democracy, people are sovereign. They elect their representatives. But if we question ourselves whether our people know about this, that they are living in democracy and they are sovereign and everything should happen according to what people wish or according to the wishes of the people, it is really doubtful because our people are not conscious of their rights at all. They do not know that what really democracy means. It is therefore, in that view of the matter, the seminars like this become very relevant because our people should know what really democracy means. In a very simple terms, if I can say, democracy means welfare of all, welfare of the public, welfare of the people. So anything that is done by a state or any authorities, as a matter of fact, whether it is executive, it should legislature or judiciary, whatever is done, it should be always for the good of the people, for the welfare of the people. That is what democracy means. And our people, they do not know that they are the masters. They feel that they are the servants. They are the bosses. In fact, in democracy, uh, people are sovereign. Every authority, all power is given by the people to all others, whether it is legislative or it is executive or it is judiciary. The power is given by the people to others. They contribute their mind, they contribute, they dedicate everything, and people are not aware of this. Therefore, people in a democracy must know that they are sovereign. The sovereignty rests with the people, and they are the bosses, they are the masters. All others, in whatever capacity they are working, they are servants. In a sense, they are public servants. All of us, whether it is judges, whether it's lawyers, whether it is ministers, whether it is MLAs, MPs, whoever is, or any other authorities, they are only public servants to serve the good for the good of the community. That people should. Second thing is, in a democracy, what is important is rule of law should prevail always. If we do not know the law at all, how can rule of law prevail? That's very, very important. So democracy, not according to the whims and fancies of somebody, the country is governed or any authority. Everything should happen according to rule of law. That should prevail, not individual volitions, not arbitrariness, not discriminatory treatment. It's always rule of law should govern ours. So unless our people know that what laws they are governed, their constitution, and all laws that are made for the benefit of the people, unless they are conscious and they know the law about the laws, they cannot really enjoy the benefit of those statutes or the laws at all. Therefore, to say that we are living in a democracy, people should know their rights, people should know their responsibilities, and they also know what are the responsibilities of their representatives. Then only people can ask them, you have done this, you have not done this, because nothing is done vaguely, indefinitely, or according to the whims and fancies of somebody. Everything need to be done according to law. Therefore, you can question the moment somebody has not acted in accordance with law. If people are conscious of the laws and the constitution, they can always question and say, you have not exercised your power according to law. You have committed a mistake that can be always corrected, set right in the course of law. That is the purpose. In a democracy means is a way of life. We should live it. Whatever The law says we should, if constitution guarantees a certain rights, we should experience that. If other laws, certain property rights, we should experience it. If maintenance rights are there, we should experience it. If compensation rights are there, we should experience and enjoy it. If we do not realize these rights, there is no purpose will be served just by making laws. Therefore, democracy means it is a way of life, and people are sovereign. Every authority is given by them, and they are governed. And in a democracy, we are all governed by rule of law. This our people should know. Then only things can change. Then, republic is another expression that's used in the Indian Constitution. What is this? We know that prior to independence, even after getting independence, also, there were nearly 600 princely states in our country. India was not like this at all. And all of them sacrificed. And ultimately, India became Union of States. Till then, nearly 600 rulers were ruling this country. Small, small princely states were there. Now, India is a republic, means what? The head of the nation is the representative of the people. He is not by hereditary. A republic means the head of the nation is, whether he or she, the head of the nation is always elected by the representatives of the people. That's one thing. Second thing is, every republic is governed by rule of law, by constitution. We are governed by a written constitution. These are the, that is why India is a republic, because our head is not by heredity, that you are the son of so and so, you are this, like in princely states where king's son used to be a king, Rajkumara, and then he used to be a king ultimately. That is not the, in a democracy, in a republic, the head of the nation is not by hereditary. It is always the choice of the people. Means the representatives of the people will elect the head of the nation, and he should discharge his functions according to the constitution. So, where a particular country is governed by its constitution and the head of the nation is not by hereditary, such a country, we call it a republic. India is a republic. Well, as I told you that what is that the people of this country want? The preamble also tells us that why we have come together, different languages, different cultures, different dress habits, a lot of things. Diversity is immense in our country, and one has to only just see this country, travel through all the parts of this country, then only realizes the immense diversity of this country, how people of different culture, different languages, different food habits, different dress codes, they are living together. It is amazing, really. And why all of us have come together? That's very, very important. All of us have come together. Why? What is the purpose? The purpose is to achieve these things. Social justice. That is what Constitution aims at. The most important value of the Constitution is to achieve justice. Means social justice. It includes social justice, economic justice, and political justice. We know that how people are discriminated. We have experienced, and still we are experiencing, even after 7 decades after the constitution has come into force, we are still experiencing these discriminations. On the ground of caste, we experience discrimination. On the ground of religion, we are experiencing discrimination. On the ground of creed, race, on the ground of sex, on the ground of place of birth, we are experiencing discrimination. We are not equal treated. The, so in the society, the status of a man is determined based on what caste he belongs. The status of a man is determined based on what sex he belongs. So we have weaker sections, we have scheduled castes, we have scheduled tribe people. Why this kind of categorization when all of us are human beings? Does it require to say that you belong to this caste, you are a scheduled caste man, you are a scheduled tribe man, you are a backward, you are obese, you are this, you are that? Is it required at all? Can we not just feel that all of us citizens of this country, we are all human beings, we have a same status in the society? That is not a reality. It is therefore one of the most important objectives of the Constitution is to achieve justice, social justice, means equal status in the society. Everybody should be respected. Every human being should be respected equally and economically. They must have a decent living. So the object of the constitution is, and social, political justice means there must be participation in the administration by all. So the purpose of this social justice is that all citizens enjoy equal status in the society. They are treated equally, and they have a decent living, and they can also participate in the administration in all walks of life equally. That is the object why we have come together and why we have a written constitution. And the next thing we want to achieve is all the people have determined in the preamble, they say equality means equality before law and equal protection of laws. How we say that I am discriminated, this is done, this is not done according to law. We are seeing that people are not equal because there are three social enemies. This why people are suffering from this inequality means this poverty, ignorance, and illiteracy are the greatest social evils. Poverty, you cannot participate in anything. Maybe you are capable, competent, everything, but because economically you are not sound, you cannot achieve many things in life, though you wish it. That is not possible. You are illiterate. If you are illiterate, therefore you do not know what to do. You are not conscious of the laws. You are illiterate. You don't know the world is, how to behave, how to live. You are not aware at all. Ignorance has led us to so many blind beliefs. We have a lot of blind beliefs, so traditional otherwise, lot of blind beliefs. That means baseless things. We go on believing things like that because of our ignorance. Now, what is the thing this constitution wants to remove all these things? That means remove poverty, remove illiteracy, remove ignorance. How this can happen? This can happen by giving education. Therefore, Constitution aims at giving education to everybody. That is the basic need. That's one of the fundamental rights that everybody should be given education, at least up to 14 years. That is what Constitution. You can get higher education also, but minimum at least every citizen of this country must be educated, so that only when people are educated they can think of it, why I am treated like this. So he will become conscious, and then all these things, he starts earning, he starts doing something for his livelihood. Then this poverty, ignorance, and literacy, if these things are removed by education, proper education, value based education, then only people can enjoy equal status in the society. This ideal of the constitution, equality before law and equal protection of law, can be achieved there only then. Then the constitution next aims at liberty. Look at the kind of liberty we are enjoying: liberty of thought, liberty of expression, liberty of faith, liberty of belief, liberty of worship. These are the kind of liberties every individual experiences. So, just good old days, We have studied that people used to be treated like slaves. And we have also seen, we have also experienced that people were used like animals. People were there for, there was a forced labor. There, because of compulsion, poverty, or something like that, people used to work for a paltry sum or without money at all. Now, this liberty has given every one of us that thought, liberty of thought, expression. We have freedom of expression, means we have a fundamental right today to express our, we can become what we want. That kind of a right is given to us by the Constitution. We can blossom into anything. You can be a lawyer, you can be a doctor, you can be a farmer, you can be a businessman, you can be anything by choice now because you have that liberty. That is the most cherished value in the Constitution. Means you have freedom of thought, you have freedom of expression, you have freedom of belief, you have freedom of faith, you have freedom of worship. The you can, as long as we will not infringe the right of others, we respect the rights of others, we treat them like, without violating others' rights, we can experience our independence. We have that liberty. That is another constitution most cherished right that constitution guarantees for all the citizens of this country. And the next ideal of the constitution, greatest value, is fraternity. Look at that, 130 crores people. If more than 130 crores of people, we are living, coexisting together. If one is not concerned with the other, it is one is not concerned with the other, there can be no, we can never improve at all. We can never coexist as a country at all. Therefore, this feeling of fraternity means brotherhood. All of us are brothers and sisters. Because of this feeling, today, say, one Sachin Tendulkar from Maharashtra, if he scores a century, all the entire country enjoys that. If there is a winner in badminton or shuttlecock from Hyderabad, PV Sindhu, if she wins a cup or some matches, we all enjoy, we respect that because we feel that an Indian has won. That is the fraternity, brotherhood. All of us must feel this. That is what Constitution wants to achieve. Means live like brothers and sisters, coexist, respect others' feelings, and live like brothers. That's why Constitution aims at individual dignity. No, let me quote you, Swami Vivekananda. Every soul is potentially divine. This is what Swami Vivekananda says. Every soul is potentially divine. Manifestation of the divinity inherent in human beings is what education means. Education is nothing but manifestation of the divinity inherent in human beings. So this capability, immense possibility for a human being that he can be live like a, he can have an animal existence, he can also have a human existence. He can also have a divine existence. All these immense possibilities are there only for human beings. Constitution says individual dignity, respect everybody, whatever may be the status in the society, his position. As a worker, you may be a labor, you don't know, you may be an auto driver, you may be a businessman, you may be a small hotelier, or you may be a street vendor, whoever he is in life, but he has a dignity. So that individual dignity means respect everybody. That is what Constitution wants to achieve. Individual dignity is one of the most cherished values of the Constitution. So also Constitution thinks of this unity and integrity of our country. Look at these ideals that India should be one. That is why I said that You go to Kerala, there the language, Malayalam is the spoken language there. Go to Tamil Nadu, Tamil is the language. Come to Karnataka, Kannada is the language. Go to Maharashtra, Marathi is the language. So, like that, Punjabi in one place, Bengali in one place, Oriya in one place, Hindi in some other places, Urdu in some places, and then different languages like this. That is the cultural diversity of this country. Now, constitution wants come together. You coexist. You speak your language. Constitution ensures if only 10 people are speaking a particular language, say tribal people, they can, as a minority, preserve their language, preserve their heritage, preserve their culture. Constitution guarantees that right. That is the way we can preserve all these things, unity and integrity of the country. That means every one of us, all citizens of our country, must feel we are Indians, we are one, we are one country, we are one nation, irrespective of our diversity, diverse feelings, diverse food habits, different religious feelings or performances. Irrespective of that, we must feel that we are one country and one nation. That is what Constitution aims at. So, if we can just look to the preamble of the Constitution, uh, what it conveys to all of us is you are an independent nation. Every citizen of this country is living in an independent country. Our country, his or our country can make decision for itself. They are living in such a country, and there is cultural diversity that is respected. That every religion is equally respected in this country, and the wealth of the nation should not be allowed to concentrate in few hands. It should be natural resources and wealth should be distributed equally for the well-being of all the members of the society. And we are a republic and we are a democracy, means people choice, people welfare is paramount in a democracy. That is what, and then where in a country where social justice, people enjoy equal status, where people have liberty to become what they want, where people have individual dignity. That is the country what conceive. That is the idea that what constitution conceives really, what we want to achieve. They are the objectives of the constitution. And if we go next, then we come to the kind of rights that are guaranteed to every citizen of this country, fundamental rights. All citizens enjoy this. From Article 14 onwards, you can see the kind of rights that are given. Equality, how that is achieved, equal protection of laws, equal status in the society. So every equality before law and equal protection of law. There can be no discrimination at all. Man cannot be discriminated at all. But Constitution also ensures that there is a protective discrimination. That means weaker section of the people are there, socially backward people are there, educationally backward people are there. How their interests should be protected, and Constitution shows its grace and says, all right, make special provisions for these people and bring them up also so that they can also live a happy life, comfortable life, a decent life. Ultimately, Constitution ensures a decent life, or it envisages, or it dreams of a decent life for all its citizens. Then you come, there can be no discrimination at all on the ground. All are allowed to the public places. So in all public, it may be hotels or restaurants or parks, such public place, tanks, where all on certain criteria, so on certain grounds, where people were prevented from going to such places. Now Constitution says you can't discriminate. It should be all people should be, all citizens should be allowed to public places and they can have access. So that is the guarantee that Constitution guarantees. And there is a plenty of opportunity in the matter of employment. There is an opportunity. Now you can compete you can run the race and win the race. That is the kind of opportunity. So constitution ensures by way of fundamental rights, equal protection of laws, equality before law, there is no discrimination at all, and it gives a comfort for every one of us to feel that yes, here is a document, a sacred document, which ensures equal right for all of us. If you have faith in constitution, if you believe constitution, no other things are required to strengthen you, because constitution gives for all of us such a great strength that man, you cannot be discriminated at all. You have a right for education. You have all laws. There must be equal protection. Nothing can be arbitrary. Nothing can be whimsical. Nothing can be fanciful. Nobody can throw you away. That is the kind of rights that are given. And Article 19 ensures a lot of freedoms are given there. Freedom of expression, speech and expression, that's given. Look at that great, if unless there was a freedom of expression, you can't communicate to anybody at all. Whatever feelings we have, all of us are enjoying, even a small talk in a marriage gathering, we enjoy it. Lot of fun we enjoy in life, lot of great achievements we make, lot of writings have happened. All this is because of this fundamental right guaranteed to all of us. Of course, and then there is a freedom, we have a freedom of speech and expression, we have freedom of movement, we have freedom to form associations, we have freedom to move any part of the country. And another important right is freedom of doing any job of your choice. You have a fundamental right to perform or to do any profession, any trade, any occupation. That is a fundamental right for all of us. We have this kind of freedom. We have freedom of expression. If you want to be a poet and express yourself, do it. If you want to be a dramatist and express it as an actor, do it. If you want to be a scientist and show, manifest yourself and express yourself that way, do it. If you want to be an agriculturist and grow a lot of varieties of crops and show it to the world, do it. You express itself the way you like. That is a most sacred right that is guaranteed to all the citizens of this country. Article 19, freedom of expression, to form associations for good things, and then to come together, and then movement anywhere. Every citizen, uh, you can, without anything, just you can from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, from Bengal, from Maharashtra to East Bengal or northern states, anywhere, any part of this country, you can freely move. That is a fundamental right for all of us. And look at that. If you are a proud Indian, how happy you can feel by this right, because you have a freedom of movement of such a vast country. Anywhere you can live, any occupation you can do. You have a right to live anywhere in our country, and so also you have a right for any trade, for any occupation or any profession of your choice. That means this uh, uh, Article 19 of the Indian Constitution uh, permits us or grants us such a wonderful right that you can manifest the way you like, you can express the way like, you can become what you want, whatever you want to achieve in life. That's the kind of rights. And then the next rights, like 2021, they are the liberty, and life and liberty are two most important things for all of us. Constitution guarantees life and liberty of an individual cannot be taken away except in accordance with the procedure established by law. That even to touch a man without your consent, uh, if somebody touches you violently or forcefully, it is it is unfair. It's not permissible. Maybe sometimes it is an offense also, because except in accordance with the procedure established by law. The liberty or life of an individual cannot be taken away. And look at that Article 20. A man cannot be prosecuted for twice. There can be no testimonial compulsions. You can't compel an accused in a criminal case to speak something against him. That kind of compulsion is not permissible. It is protected. If a man is arrested, why he is arrested? The reasons must be shown. If he is not capable, his relative must be informed. Then what it ensures is he is accounted for where he is in police custody, because he is arrested, where he is, for what purpose he is arrested. And there are any number of circumstances we see that this is not accounted for at all. Even a man is taken into custody, that is not accounted for at all. But constitution says within 24 hours from the time of arrest, he must be produced before the nearest magistrate. This is accounting, telling the magistrate, I have taken this man, he is in my custody, and for this purpose I have arrested. Then the subsequent things happen according to the order of the judge, a magistrate. That is what constitution ensures. And we only should leave these aspirations of the constitution. Of course, it's really doubtful whether we are really leaving these rights or not, but constitution ensures these things for all of us is a fact. It's a fundamental right for all of us. And Article 21 has been interpreted, and it's what virtually a limit. It is expanded like anything now. Right to safe environment today it falls under Article 21. A speedy trial falls under Article 21. Right to food falls under Article 21. Safe environment falls under Article. Right to privacy falls under Article 21. And one important case I am reminded of is that Bombay pavement dwellers case. In that case, there were people who were dying. They were not owning anything in Bombay at all. They were pavement dwellers. They were residing. That was their habitat. On the pavements, they used to small businesses, and they used to stay there at all. And then they were asked to vacate the place because pavement is meant for public, and they can't occupy and reside there. And the matter went to Supreme Court and considered and said that, see, they are citizens of this country. You look at that, on payment, if you say that you are a trespasser, he does not own anything, either in the air or in the water or on the land. Anywhere, he does not own anything at all. He has born in this country, except that he does not own anything. The next step he takes, if he flies, he is a trespasser. If he goes to the water, if he walks in the water, he is a trespasser. If he is moving on the next step he takes, every place he puts his step, he becomes a trespasser. That what to do then? But he is an Indian citizen. Who should ensure him a life? Who should give him a decent life? Constitution ensures that life and liberty of an individual cannot be taken away except in accordance with the procedure of law. Constitution does not say that those who do not own property or those who do not, they should die. No. Constitution ensures these fundamental rights. Constitution ensures it. There in that case said, show them the way. Show them the way. They are payment dwellers. They do not own anything at all. Stop ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕ್ರಾ? Hello?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್. ಸರ್, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಸರ್.
Okay. So there in that case, a man who does not own anything is going to be a trespasser everywhere. Then they said, there the court expanded it has this Article 21. It meant that, see, every citizen should live, make them proper provisions for their livelihood.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ಹೋಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
Okay?
Sir, continue, sir.
Yes, please. So, in that case, said that we please, before taking action, provide them alternatives, show them the way for a better life. That is what was said. Though, of course, the authorities were right in saying you can't live in the payment. That is true. But where a citizen who does not own anything should go, whose responsibilities it is. I am born as a citizen. Constitution ensures me, gives me so many rights. How can I enjoy those rights? That is very, very important. And now the scope of Article 21 has been expanded. In fact, before education, Article 21A was introduced. It is the Supreme Court which interpreted right to education is part of the fundamental right, Article 21. And later on, of course, Article 20, Constitution was amended, and Article 21A was brought in. And today, a right to education up to 14 years is a fundamental right. This is the and next most important thing Constitution ensures us is untouchability is abolished. Now look at this. 70 years or more than 70 years we have spent after we achieved independence. After that, more than 7 decades we have spent now. If we question ourselves really whether by conduct, by behavior, untouchability is abolished or untouchability is not practiced, is difficult to say. That boldly, that really we all of us believe in the Constitution. We act according what Constitution dictates. It is difficult to say. Even now, we can see this practicing of untouchability, though Constitution has done away with the specific provision. There is a specific provision saying untouchability is abolished. That means to say, going by the language of the Constitution, there is nothing like untouchability now because Constitution is abolished. Every student of a Constitution, if he has faith in the Constitution, should not practice at all. But because of lack of education, because people are not aware that there is such a provision, either this way, people against whom untouchability is practiced, or people who are practicing untouchability, both of them are not conscious of this constitutional provision and still they are behaving and violating this. Because Constitution says practicing untouchability in any of its form is an offense. It is a serious thing. It is a worst kind of treatment for there is no, a human being is not treated with dignity at all. That is the purpose of the Constitution. Therefore, we must educate our people. There is nothing like untouchability because Constitution has abolished it. What is to be done for all those people who are now weaker section of the society, socially and educationally backward? They should be encouraged, irrespective of the caste, creed, race, religion. Remove all those things, and then all people who need help, assistance, they must be helped, they must be educated. Then only this problem can be solved. That is one thing. If we question really, are we acting according to the provisions of the Constitution? Respect of the because when I take up this fundamental duties, I will touch this aspect. And for the present, I only say that we must respect constitutional provisions. Only not for what is convenient for us, we practice, we want Constitution, and what is inconvenient for us, we forget Constitution. That should not be the attitude. Constitution is one such sacred document which is meant for all, which concerns all citizens of this country, which concerns every citizen of this country. Therefore, we can't ignore the constitutional provisions. We must respect them. And then there can be no forced labor at all. We have seen slavery, and then we have seen trafficking in human beings also. We have seen that a lot of that. There is forced labor. There are compulsion that you should do this work, you should do that. We also, even today also, we are seeing these unorganized sectors of labors. They are not organized at all. Though many beneficial legislations have come, uh, they are not aware of those things at all. And laws are there, but the benefit is not reaching the beneficiaries at all because they are not conscious. And people who have the authority also are not eager to help them by enforcing these provisions. Simply, there are laws for their benefit, but they are not used or acted upon, or the beneficiaries are not getting the benefit. It is time that we educate our people. That is the one of the that is legal literacy day means that is one of the purposes of legal service authority. Not only help the people who are needy, not only doing justice, at the same time creating awareness of the people also about the laws that are for their benefit is also one of the objects of this legal service authority. And today's program is literally meant that is legal literacy day means that is the purpose, means we must create awareness. So forced labor now is not there. You can be independent. You have a choice of professions also. You can take to any profession, any trade, any occupation of your choice. Forced labor, the compulsive conduct, or forcing somebody to do certain things is totally prohibited. That cannot be done at all. That is what Constitution guarantees us. And also freedom of conscience. Look at the word that is used in the Constitution. Every citizen, we enjoy freedom of conscience. That means you have a choice. You can any faith you can follow, pursue. You can propagate it. You can follow it, practice it. You can practice. You can propagate. You can publish it also. That is permissible under the Constitution. All of us have freedom of conscience. All of us have freedom of conscience, and that only means that every individual, of course, subject to restrictions. No right is a free right in anything. There cannot be an unlimited freedom like that at all. Every right, whether it is freedom of expression or movement, whatever it is, that is always subject to reasonable restrictions, some exceptions. We must enjoy our rights with constraint only. That is the way to enjoy our rights. So, right to religion is also like that. You practice any religion of your choice. That is permissible. You propagate it also, but don't others in the day. Don't compare to religions that my religion is a better religion, your religion is a poor religion. That is not what Constitution says. That you must respect others' religions also. But you have a choice of religion. If you want to pursue a particular path, particular way, particular feelings, particular performances, you follow it, no problem. And tell others also. It is for them to accept it or reject it or not to accept it. It's not, you can't compel them, but you can tell them this is the goodness. You can follow this. All good things to be told to the people. That right is there, but we can't compel anybody for anything at all. And then these cultural rights, and then see, as I told you earlier, there may be tribal people, a lot of tribal people are there. There are only in groups they are residing. They have their own peculiar language, their customs, their traditions are there. Constitution respects even that also. Minorities in terms of language or in terms of religion, there are minorities. If they want to preserve their language, they can keep it, they can maintain it. Constitution not come in the way of that. That is the kind of freedom we enjoy under our constitution. That means there is, it gives us, it ensures us equality of status, a protection of laws. It ensures us equal opportunity in the matter of employment. It ensures us freedom of expression, freedom of trade, occupation, freedom of movement, and our life and liberties are protected except in accordance with the process. Nobody can disturb you except in accordance with the procedure established by law. If in violation of the procedure established by law, somebody's right is violated, that can be always set right by moving to the court. That itself is a fundamental right. Somebody asked Dr. Ambedkar after this constitution was accepted, that which is that one article which is very dear to your heart. That Ambedkar says, if somebody asks me that which is that one article which is very dear to our, I would point out and say Article 32 of the Constitution, that is to move to the Supreme Court if there is violation of fundamental rights. To move to the court for justice is the highest thing that can happen, because we are in a democracy. Everything should happen according to rule of law. If somebody violates, there is a forum for us to set it right, to correct it. Look here, this is violated, this cannot be done. Illegal detention, you can always question it. Some authority has wrongly exercised jurisdiction, you can always question it. Some authority has wrongly passed, which is inconceivable. It can always be questioned before the court of court. A man is in power without authority. You can always move the court and tell the court, look here, this man has no authority at all. He's sitting there. Remove him. All this is guaranteed to you by way of Article 32. That's one of the most dearest to the heart of Dr. Ambedkar, who is really responsible for this great constitution of ours. Then I can briefly touch this directive principles of state policy also. That's very, very important. We see in election manifestos different parties assuring us, if we are voted to power, we are going to this, we are going to do this, we are going to do this, we are going to do this. But please look to the articles of the directive principles of the Constitution. What really should be the purpose and object of our rulers, the people who govern us, or the state? What is its responsibility? That means welfare of the people. Welfare of the people is paramount in directive. Any state policy, anything that is done, it should be always for the good of the people. That is how it should be done. People means varieties of people are there. There are people who are young children. They should be brought up as healthy citizens. There are old aged people. There are sick people. There are illiterate people. There are ignorant people. There are poor people. There are weaker sections of the people. There are scheduled caste people. There are scheduled tribe people. Different physically challenged persons are there. There are blind people, others. There are people who are physically challenged, who are mentally challenged. Such people are there. 130 crore population includes all these things. It is the responsibility of the state to ensure decent life, decent education, dignity of individual, and decent health and wealth for all these persons. That becomes the duty of the state. That is why in that directive principles of state policy, it is said, though of course, like fundamental rights, they are not justiciable. You can't go to the court. It all depends upon the financial capacity of the state to form policies and to enforce them, to put into action. But while doing so, all sections of the society must be taken into consideration. They say equal, there is a discrimination of wages. You are a man, you have worked 8 hours, you take so much because you are a man. You are a woman, you have worked 8 hours like man, but still because you are a woman, you take so much. That's how we discriminate things. So Constitution says that there must be equal pay for equal work. There must be equal distribution of wealth. Natural resources, abundance, in abundance, natural resources means the water that flows, the rivers that flow, the water that come in, it's a God's gift for us, nature's gift for us. The air that blows is a nature gives for us. The sun, sunlight, the moonlight, the sky, the earth itself, all these things, the forest, the mountains, they are our natural wealth, natural resources that they. So that directive principles of state policy says make policies in such a way that the wealth will not concentrate in the hands of the few and natural resources is enjoyed only by people. See that the wealth and natural resources are equally distributed for the well-being of all the members of the society, all citizens, all human beings. That should be the way how policy should be framed. So it also directs take care of the health of the make special provisions to bring these scheduled caste people, weaker section of the people, and backward scheduled tribe people, and all these people to bring them to the mainstream, frame policies like that for their well-being. And for environment also, you take care of the environment because nature is the source of happiness. Without nature, if there is no sunrise tomorrow, you see what is the consequences. If there is no air, if there is no breeze tomorrow, you know the consequences. If there is no water to drink, you know the consequences. So natural resources are such wonderful things. They are the sources of a very happiness. And environment means give them their due respect for all these things. Preserve forests, mountains, all that is given by nature should be used very in a limited sense, and we should preserve it because that is not only for the human being, for all living beings. Nature is the source of happiness. Nature is the ultimate thing to preserve life. Therefore, we must preserve this. Provisions are made. Government, state should make policies regarding this also. And another important thing is justice. That is how this Legal Services Authority Act came into force. So, though it was enacted in 1987, and subsequently it took a lot of time, and ultimately that came into force in 1995. The object of legal services that for want of money, there are people they are not conscious of their right. Even though they are aware of the right, they can't go to the court because court fee they have to pay, they have to conveyance they have to pay, and the lawyer they have to pay. For all these things, it is so difficult. Ultimately, they may not venture to go to the court. Even if they go to the court, they may stop in the middle. That is possible. For want of money or because of financial crisis, nobody should suffer from injustice is the object why legal service authority was brought into force. That means wherever people are not helpless, like women or children or weaker section of the society or labor class of people, scheduled caste people, scheduled tribe people, or people with a limited income, particular income level, and all those people must be helped now. Now, legal services authority or legal service committees, they will go to their help at the cost of the state. They can get justice. People should be made known of these things. They should make use of these forms. Then Lok Adalats means easily that without any technicalities, all problems can be solved. That is possible. And in that direction, we are making more. And many Lok Adalats held, and they are successful also, but not in respect of all litigations. In respect of certain kinds of litigations, really we are successful in conducting our Lok Adalats. That is also one of the purposes. Permanent Lok Adalats are also there. And creating awareness, educating the public is very, very important. Doing justice means make aware of the people. They should be made aware of their rights first. They must be educated, and then uh, they must be given support also. Legal aid should be given, that is part, and creating awareness also. Now look at this pollution act is there. Well, only one or two act I will take as an example to make, so to drive home the point, take for example a Dowry Prohibition Act. The act says giving dowry is an offense, demanding dowry is an offense, taking dowry is an offense. Giving is offense, taking is an offense, demanding dowry is an offense. Now, how far we have understood the provisions of this? Because whether people know what is there in the Dowry Prohibition Act, there are demands these days also, there is taking these days also, and there is giving also there. And we are experiencing, seeing from the cases that come to the court that even educated people are asking, taking dowry. Are they really respecting law? Or they are not aware of the such a law at all? They are not. And all that is given our dowry should come back for the giver. That also we do not know where to go, how to get it back. We can't keep a man, whether property is given as dowry, money is given as dowry, articles are given as dowry, that should come back to the lady. That is the law, but we are not aware of this. If you do not know law, how can you follow the law? If you do not respect law, how can these things can be curbed? You can never stop or prevent taking dowry or giving dowry or demanding dowry unless people for whose benefit this is done are educated that way and shown to them demanding all these things are illegal. Please don't do it. That is the way to enforce the law. It is not one or two cases that come before the court and sometimes or they are maybe guilt is proved or sometimes maybe they are acquitted for want of proof. All these possibilities are there. That is not the purpose of legislation at all, that we should leave the contents of the legislation. The spirit of the legislation should be lived by the people because it is done for the benefit of the people. It is not for the police to investigate certain matters and the court to decide certain matters and the appellate court to decide certain matters. That is not the purpose of legislation. The purpose of legislation is to curb the social evil. That should be done. That happens only when people respect law. Similarly, I will take only one more act, a pollution act. You take that. We are today seeing pollution, air pollution is there, water pollution is there, what not, all kinds of pollution. Life itself has become a nuisance. And then you have sound pollution. You can see that our Deepawalis are no more pleasant and enjoyable because of the sound pollution. And look at the steps we are taking now. And then this smoke that is emitting, that is left everywhere. We are not aware of these things, consequences at all. Simply, we are doing causing inconvenience to everybody. The sound that we are, the buses that are moving, the cars that are flying there, the workshops that are running there, all these things cause tremendous sound that in a residential locality. And why people are doing? Because they are not aware or conscious, or it is a compulsive where they are no other way at all. That is the way to live. That's how people take to these things. Therefore, this awareness of the law, that should be educated, public should be made aware. That is the importance of this legal literacy program. And I am really happy because this topic, constitution values, is chosen for the day. So, directive principles of one of the principles that is enunciated there is that because for want of money or capacity, people should not suffer from injustice. Justice must be done. Legal aid must be done. Then awareness also should be created. That is the purpose. So that is also enshrined there. Even neighboring states, your relationship, external affairs, relationship with our neighboring countries also smooth. Our policies should be such that we are always very friendly with our neighboring country. If you are happy, your neighbor is a troubleshooter, you can never be happy in life at all. Maybe you have all comforts in your house, but your neighbor is not good. This neighbor is not good. That neighbor is not good. They have become your enemies, means it becomes a big problem. So also, if our neighboring states we are not in friendly terms with them, it always becomes a threat through a nation, and it will cause unhappiness, and people cannot be convenient and comfortable. That's how these directive principles of state policies there, they are also very important thing, though they are not justiciable. Lastly, I want to touch the most important thing is fundamental duties. All of us always talk of our rights. We go to the court. We want to realize our rights. This is there. This is denied to me. This is unconstitutional. The act is unconstitutional. So many things with so many challenges. We go to the court of law and realize our rights, but we have not concentrated on our duties. Just like fundamental rights, every citizen has fundamental duties to perform also. The highest duty is to respect the Constitution, to respect the national flag, to respect the national anthem. That is our fundamental duty. All of us should respect our national anthem, should respect our constitution, to respect our national flag. That is highest duty of that. And you know that what the sacrifice is done by all our constitution or people who have fought for our independence, they have sacrificed. Lawyers have left their profession and they have joined freedom struggle movement. Farmers, small people, big people, all kinds of people, they have participated in the freedom struggle. For what purpose? My country, my countrymen in future should live a happy life with freedom. No external force should govern us. That is the object and purpose of why they fought. We have forgotten all of that. Gandhiji's ideals, that becomes a debatable point today, whether Gandhiji is relevant or not relevant. We have started thinking like that. Even what Gandhiji says, prohibition should be enforced. There should be total prohibition. People should not take to liquor. Even that is also has become that. Can we live without a liquor? That is an important source. That is the kind of thinking where. So fundamental duty is respect for what our fighters for freedom, all our ancestors, people who fought for freedom, what their thinking was, why they struggled for freedom, sacrificed for freedom, that also we must keep in our mind and respect their feelings also while doing our duties. While not just fighting for our rights, we must respect these feelings also. And then you must move for to love your country. You must all sacrifice, whatever sacrifice you can make, you must make for your country. When your country requires your services, every one of us, every citizen should be ready to go there and fight for that. And we have a tremendous cultural heritage. Uh, uh, this is personally anybody who has traveled through the length and breadth of our country easily knows that the tremendous cultural heritage. We have a rich cultural heritage. No country in the world has such a rich cultural heritage that should be preserved. And then it says, even preserve this rich cultural heritage, transcend behind it, and then respect everybody, achieve fraternity, brotherhood, achieve that. That should be our object, respecting all people, preserving our rich cultural heritage also, and respecting every individual, and to live like brothers should be our duty, is what it says. So right to education is also, it becomes the duty of the state, it becomes the duty of the parents also and guardians also to educate, to give education. It is a fundamental duty. It is the right of the every child to get education. So also it is the duty of the father, mother, and also the guardian, whoever is, and also the state to give education up to certain age. It is a must. Education is compulsory. Give education that can change, because it is only education which can change individual, which can transform the society, which can transform the world. Except education, no other wealth can change these things at all. Therefore, education is a must. We must, it is as a fundamental, we must educate our people. We are only talking of fundamental rights. We are not concentrating on fundamental duties that achieve excellence, develop scientific temper. So we are not doing all those things at all. And then any number of times we are told that either don't believe these things, traditional beliefs, they are outdated, don't follow those blind beliefs at all. People still are doing the same thing. By practice, they should be educated like that. Wherever these customs or traditions which are outdated, which are there is no basis, foundation for such beliefs or faiths, they should be educated and people should be made to think, achieve excellence in life. So also achieve excellence in your studies, that is there. Develop scientific temper is also there. And ultimately, respecting the nation, respecting the laws is also our duty. So, friends, to sum up, I would say it is really a great opportunity for me to express my feelings, my thinking about the constitutional principles. And it's a great constitution and very detailed constitution indeed. And we must educate our people. And law college, Saraswati Law College, and the principal district judge have taken a right step in selecting this webinar. Uh, I conclude sincerely thanking all for this opportunity.